I just want to talk about this Bryan Kohberger case. Not about Bryan Kohberger or about the murder, but, you know, there's plenty of enough people talking about that. This lady right here, what she does, okay? And this was a video from July 18th, and the topic was gag order lifted in the Kohberger case, okay? And then she just rants, basically, about, of all things, conspiracy theorists. But the reason I'm pointing this out, because I'm going to show you what she did 2 years ago, bringing on 2 Facebook admins and telling everybody to go join their group, and basically what they were doing was, you know, calling out the issues about the roommates didn't call 911 for 8 hours, and they called friends before they called 911, and then you see the reports where basically she said that Kaylee was screaming, and then she went in her door, locked the door, and they were texting each other, they were afraid, and then they just go to sleep and don't call for 8 hours. I mean, so you have Facebook discussion about it. But look what she says. Talking about, yeah, they're all getting threats. They get harassed all the time. Talking about, you know, threats upon Kohberger, his family, the victims' families. They're all getting threats all the time. There's these conspiracy theorists out there. There's awful people online. Oh my goodness, girl, let's go back 2 years. Yeah, remember this? From 2 years ago. Okay? So here you have these ladies from the Facebook group, and they're having discussions online. They're I think they're people who have talked about, true crime gurus, if you will. And so basically they bring up the issue that, like, literally millions of people, if you just read comments on all these videos about this case, they're pretty much all saying the same things. I mean, they're just talking about the facts and how some things that just don't seem to add up, right? And it's logical that they're pointing these things out. I don't see any problem with people pointing these things out. I'm looking at it like I'm not understanding it either, okay? But it says, okay, for example, there's some say they believe the police, no, they believe they've been cleared. It says, okay, so their question basically was about the 911. They say this delayed 911 call, the locked doors, calling friends over, but caught before they called the police. So there was 8 hours that went by. And I mean, and if you look at the details, the reports said, that basically she saw this masked man in the house. And then you see the text messages where they're freaking out, and but there was a scream and saying that there's somebody in the house, and you're going in your door. I'm sorry, if a masked man's in my house, and this is what basically everybody says, it's just bizarre. I mean, at least let them explain away why they did what they did. Were they just drunk out of their mind? I mean, just what? I don't know. But they're not awful people for wondering about these things. And obviously, she 2 years ago has these 2 Facebook admins on her, like, pointing at them, like, basically calling them out for it. So then for her to say 6 days ago, these awful people, these conspiracy theorists, this is why mainstream media people, they just get on my nerves. I'm just saying.